Business networking is meeting other people with shared or common interests, perhaps with similar businesses in, for example, the same business area or age group as you. First, we'll look at the benefits of networking with other businesses. We'll move on to looking at typical networking opportunities, ranging from small or local to much larger and national networks. We'll also give you some pointers about what the Internet has to offer for business networking. Then we'll talk about what's available for specific groups of people. For instance, there are business support networks for black and minority ethnic business owners, especially in larger cities. And there are other networks for younger or older people going into business, for women in business, or for specific industries. There are lots of ways to find the best business network for you and your business, and we'll point you in the right direction. Networking provides many benefits for all start-up and small businesses, such as improving your knowledge and skills, boosting your reputation, and making useful contacts. Okay, so let's look at what you can get out of business networking. Sometimes, if you're just starting out or running a small business, you can easily feel isolated or just tied up with all those day-to-day tasks. Networking gives you a chance to meet people in a similar situation, but it can also provide valuable new contacts. These contacts may be able to offer help with challenges you're currently facing, or they could be potential new customers. With every new contact, you stand the chance of learning something new that will benefit your business. It might be hearing how someone does something that you can take back and apply to how you work, or finding out about new developments in your industry, like changes in the law or the introduction of new technology, or simply meeting someone who you later realize can provide a service or product that your business needs. And of course, all these things work in reverse too. By networking, you're getting yourself and your business known to a wider group of people. New business might not come your way overnight, but once you're an established and regular member of a network, you'll be at the front of people's minds when it comes to needing the product or service you provide. Being a member of some networks also has added benefits. This could include access to trade publications, exhibitions, business seminars and other events at a discounted rate, or even for free. How much you benefit from any network will depend on what the network organizes and how actively you become involved. Don't be afraid of asking for advice or worry too much about giving away your business practices. For most businesses, the benefits of taking part in a network usually outweigh any potential worries. Click here to learn how one business uses local networks for the exchange of ideas and to identify new business opportunities. So that's a quick look at some of the main benefits you stand to gain from business networking. Now let's move on and talk about the sort of networks that are available. Have you already heard about any business networks in your area? Often they're set up and run through an organization like the local Chamber of Commerce or one of the business support networks that specializes in helping smaller businesses. You can find your local Chamber of Commerce in the phone book or by searching online. Your local council might also run business events and networking activities, so why not get in touch to find out about business support in your area? Most council websites have information about the business services they provide. Just look for the site Business Pages. For networking events and activities in your industry, you could try the trade association or other body that represents your industry. Of course, there are lots of networking opportunities over the Internet, including online communities and forums. There may also be online networking events or simply the opportunity to arrange face-to-face meetings with potential customers and other business people quickly and easily. Online networks are also set up as groups on major business networking sites. LinkedIn is one of these. They can be really useful for recruitment, gathering business information, and for finding business partners to work with. There are also places to find or organize networking events, whether online or face-to-face. You can use social networks as well, particularly for interacting with your customers, marketing, and to help build your brand or get more exposure for a new product. There may be a group already set up that's relevant to your business interests on one of the main sites like Facebook. If not, maybe you could start one yourself. Don't forget that people you already know can also be part of your network, especially if you're using a social networking site or other online forum to promote your business. So, what usually happens at a networking event? A lot of networking events and activities are some sort of organized meeting, almost like a mini conference. As a new attendee, you'll get to introduce yourself to some or all of the other people there. You'll have the chance to explain a little bit about your business and the products or services you supply. There might even be a table or room to display some of your products, sales information and so on. At the very least, you'll need a good supply of business cards or something else with all your contact details on. Some networking events will also be less formal, perhaps just a social evening or even a breakfast where you can get to meet other business people in a more relaxed and less structured setting. You'll also hear from other people about their businesses, so remember to look out for possible connections with what you do and make sure you collect their business cards. Networking is very much a two-way process. To give you more of an idea about what to expect, here are some actual networking events that have been arranged by the organizations we talked about earlier. One organization held a presentation on building your brand and a seminar aiming to boost international trade links. A Chamber of Commerce organized an event for people interested in developing their knowledge and understanding of social media, marketing and digital strategies. So you can see that networking events are really varied. There will be one that's ideal for you somewhere nearby. And if there isn't, don't forget to look online or contact the organizations we've mentioned to find out more. Click here for a checklist of things to remember if you're going to use online networks. Trade shows, exhibitions and major seminars or conferences are often as much about networking as they are about making sales there and then. They are great places to meet people in your own industry or from related businesses. You can often get free entrance to this type of business event, and they're usually held at large city centre venues or somewhere that's fairly easy to get to. A lot of businesses have some sort of international dimension, like using overseas suppliers or selling to customers in other countries. Belonging to international networks of similar businesses helps them manage those international dimensions better and get the most out of them. You can research international networks through UK-based overseas chambers of commerce. Once again, you can find these through the British Chambers of Commerce website. The British Council can introduce businesses to people in key industrial sectors from important developing international markets through its British Overseas Industrial Placement Scheme. Bodies such as the government's UK Trade and Investment also helps UK businesses to develop overseas trade. The Federation of European Employers offers business members networking opportunities through informal meetings. They can also provide information on employment issues like pay, employment law and human resources policies. Visit their website to find more information about the networking opportunities the Federation can provide. We've looked at networking activities and the sorts of things that might be organised at a local level, as well as looking at what's on offer on a wider scale. Now let's look at some more specialised networks. As well as general business networks, there are networks that are set up with specific groups of people or for people of a certain group working in a certain industry. There are networks specifically for businesswomen, for instance, but then there are also yet more targeted networks, such as for women working in technology, or for older people setting up in business, for instance. You might have to do some searching, but there are all sorts of highly targeted networks set up by people in a certain industry, such as freelancers in the Northwest. Business organisations for women include the Women in Business Network, Every Woman, Women in Rural Enterprise and Prowess. Organisations like the Prince's Trust offer mentoring services for young women going into business. There's also Junior Chamber International for young business people. For those over the age of 50, there's an organisation called Prime, which will be able to tell you about any networks or events targeted at older entrepreneurs in your area. Especially in the country's larger cities, there are also networks for minority ethnic business people, like the Asian Business Network and the African Caribbean Business Network. There is also BME, Business Women's Aspirations Network, which works with other organisations to provide activities for sustainable businesses. They can also provide advice for new start-up businesses. The National Black Women's Network also arranges events for black women in business. Another organisation, the Fredericks Foundation, offers business support for ex-offenders in England. If you've got a social enterprise, you could approach Unlimited for Social Entrepreneurs. These are just a few of the largest business networks. Search for the organisations on the internet if you think they may be able to help you set up a new business or develop one you're already running. Click here to find out how to get the most from networking events. Specialised business networks offer carefully targeted support to groups of people from similar backgrounds or with similar needs. You can gain a great deal by taking an active part in a business network. Do a bit of research and speak to other people in your industry to find the network or events that are best for your business.